What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. No, the world has not yet ended, and yes, we're still filming content, and I am absolutely so excited about it because given the recent events that have taken place, we figured we'd make today's episode kind of fun, entertaining, and hopefully get you guys laughing because after all, laughter is one of the best medicines. And so what we're gonna be talking about today is 10 plants that you can grow to replace toilet paper. And the reason why I chose this video is because Mrs. MIgardener and I were actually at the store. We don't consider ourselves like preppers, but you know, obviously given the recent events, it kind of forced us no other option to go out and buy some essentials because there are shortages of things like hand sanitizer, soap, toilet paper, things like that. And so it kind of gave us no other option where it's like, okay, we need to get some of these things. And it was shocking to me because there was very few left on the shelves. And so we went around from store to store kind of looking at things because there was not much out there for us to buy. And so I thought, wow, this is definitely an issue. Obviously I had heard of it being an issue, but sometimes things can kind of get overhyped. Sometimes things can kind of be a little bit blown out of proportion. And I think in this case, there's a lot happening that we don't know yet. And so that uncertainty causes a lot of fear, and that fear can sometimes cause people to, hold on, I gotta fix that. Sometimes that fear can kind of cause people to react in ways they would not normally. And so that kind of led us to believe, I'm not as afraid of what's been going on as I am the people, because the people, man, I've seen fist fights over toilet paper, folks. It's just crazy. So in this video, I'm gonna hopefully get you guys laughing along and just talking about some plants that you can use in case toilet paper is sold out where you're at. You can at least get them started in your grow room or in your kitchen, wherever you got your plant starts, and you can get these plants growing so that you can start using them as toilet paper. So, all right, let's get started with today's episode. I'm having a good one. And before we get started though, too, I just wanted to remind you guys that smiling and laughter and optimism are so important. No matter what's been going on, no matter what the world is doing, you have to be able to find a silver lining. You have to be able to wake up in the morning and be able to put a smile on, because that negativity has a tendency to breed, and actually it has a tendency to grow. And when you can be that kind of that difference in the world, when you can walk down the street with a smile despite everyone else having a frown, people look at you and they say, I want to be like that. And that can create a change, and that paradigm shift can actually help boost people's immune systems. It can help boost people's optimism, and I just really want to be that change for today. So I hope you guys are smiling along with me. Let's get started. This is going to be a fun one. So the first plant we're going to talk about is lamb's ear. I absolutely love lamb's ear, and I've actually had personal experience using lamb's ear as a toilet paper replacement. I was out backpacking and I forgot toilet paper. Of course, the one thing that you always make sure you have in your backpack, and I had forgotten it. And so when I realized I'd forgotten it, I just quickly looked around, because when nature calls, it calls pretty quickly sometimes. I quickly looked around and I found a small patch of it. It was my first run in ever using it, and I was sold. It was fantastic. It was actually really soft, large leaves, thick leaves as well, so it didn't tear. You don't want any of those things happening. You don't want leaves to be too abrasive or scratchy. And so, I really honestly, I didn't really think about it at the time, but after looking back, it's a fantastic replacement, and it's actually softer than some of the commercially available toilet papers out there. So definitely a great one in my book. The second plant is called Mulion. Now this is known as miner's toilet paper, and that's because miners back in the day, when they were out in the mines, and obviously back in the day before toilet paper was really a thing, they had to find some type of natural form of toilet paper. And when many people were using very unsanitary methods, the miners decided to use this plant that grew on the mountainsides called Mulion, and it's a very soft, very lamb's ear-like plant. They're in the same family, and they found it to be very pleasant. And so while I've never used this one, given that it's very much like lamb's ear, I would say that's a great replacement. The third leaf is actually one that's been used for thousands of years, and that is grape leaves. Now we all have seen the pictures of Adam and grape leaves covering his parts, but you can actually use them as toilet paper. In fact, the Greeks used grape leaves as toilet paper, like I said, thousands of years ago, and you can definitely use them today. They're in an abundance on the plant, and they are edible as well, but they make an amazing toilet paper substitute because they are fuzzy, they're nice large leaves, and they don't tear. You don't want your fingers breaking through when you're wiping, because that's never a pleasant experience. So, so Grape Leaves make a fantastic toilet paper substitute. The next plant, or plants, I should say, that make wonderful toilet paper substitutes are your brassicas. I love brassicas like cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and collards. They all have very large leaves. They are rather waxy, so depending on the job, you may not want to use them because they're not absorbent, but they do act as a very good wipe because of the fact that they're very leathery, they're very wide, they're very strong, you're not gonna have breakage, and you can still harvest the outside leaves still while leaving the cabbage head to mature. So you can have a multi-use plant, and you never know when you might have to use it. The next plants are trees. There are two trees in particular that make amazing toilet paper substitutes. The one is redbuds. Now redbuds are a beautiful red budding tree that actually put on their flowers before the foliage comes out, but the foliage itself is actually heart-shaped, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's super thick leaves, and I've actually had experience also using redbud leaves, and so they're a very good substitute. Almost soft and fuzzy to the touch, but they're very large, and they're larger than your hand, so they make a wonderful wonderful wipe when you need something in a pinch. The next type of tree would be a cottonwood tree. Also very large leaves, very similar to the redbud in shape and size. Very hard, not hard, but very rigid, so that they're not going to rip. And so great options when you're looking for a toilet paper substitute that comes on the form of a tree, because trees form thousands of leaves, and so if you only need one or two leaves to do the job, well, you're going to have a lot of toilet paper substitute on hand. The next plant is mallow. Now I love mallow because this is actually an herb that you can grow. The roots are used as a marshmallow flavoring agent, and that's where most marshmallow gets its flavor, is from this plant. But the leaves themselves are also edible, and the flowers and every part of this plant is edible, but the leaves are also very fuzzy, and they make a wonderful toilet paper substitute. In fact, they've been used in actually Asia as toilet paper for several thousand years. So it's highly recommended that if you need some toilet paper and you can't find it at the grocery store, grow some mallow. The next plant is borage, but there's a trick to borage. You want to harvest it when the leaves are large but not mature. When the leaves are still young, the spines on the leaves are not yet hard, so they're actually more fuzzy than hard. But when the leaves harden up, they actually get kind of prickly, and that would not be very comfortable. So make sure you harvest young yet large leaves, and you're gonna have a wonderful toilet paper substitute. And the last plant is thimbleberry. This one has actually also been used as a toilet paper substitute in the Pacific Northwest because it grows very well in damp and forested regions. So a lot of people that are backpacking and hiking come across thimbleberry, and they will use it as a toilet paper substitute because it's very much like mallow in the fact that it has rigid leaves. They're rounded, so they make a good cover for your hand. They don't rip very easily, and they are very soft, fuzzy, and slightly absorbent. So they make a wonderful toilet paper substitute. And man, I'm chasing the white balance all around because the clouds are like in and out, but I cannot complain because it's so nice and warm out today. But with that warmth comes some wind that gets picked up, especially since we don't have leaf cover on the trees. So there you go. There are the plants that make wonderful toilet paper substitutes. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you laughed along. This has been a ton of fun bringing you guys out here, especially the way that the 24-hour news cycle just keeps drilling you with really depressing news. I just hope that this has been a light to your day and just a joy for you to watch. And I really do hope that you learned something new in the process. And the final thing that I was gonna leave you guys with is, if you do decide to go out and you do decide to buy provisions, just remember to be smart about it. You don't necessarily have to buy everything in the store just because it's available. Yes, you can, but should you? No, because there are other people as well that want to take care of their families. They want to get just enough to get for a couple weeks to get by in case there is a shortage, and that's all we wanted to do, and we could hardly find enough for our three-person family. So I really do want you guys to remember that look out for yourself, yes, but to a certain extent, remember that there are other people that are in the same boat. And it really only is going to increase the issues and increase the problems when we remember that there are other people in this world besides yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. As always, I love you. I thank you for your support, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. Remember to grow big or go home. Bye. So as I was coming in, I saw something that brought so much joy to my heart. It brought so much happiness that I actually started crying. And I wanted to show you guys this because this means a lot to me. Because for those of you that have been through a very cold winter, you guys have had a lot of hardships this year, especially those that are fearful, especially those that have been just pounded with nothing but negative news. I want to share something with you that I think is going to be really, really positive news. Check this out. I just want you guys to remember that no matter how dark the days are, no matter how cold the winter is, no matter how bad the news gets, the sun will always come out and spring will always come again.